Hey, Trail Kreitzer at goHUNT. We're up here at Total Archery Challenge in Park City. Got a bunch of vendors here, and one of our favorite vendors, guys that we carry in the shop, is Argali Outdoors. I got Brad Brooks here from Argali. You're the owner, right?
I am the owner, yeah.
Are you the inventor also?
Yeah, I wear a lot of hats. So yeah.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's going to run us through a brand new belt that he's got coming out, which is the Kodiak Belt.
Yep. So this is the Kodiak Belt. Actually named this belt trail because I took it, wore it all last year for throughout the year, but the true field test was up on Kodiak on a deer hunt where we had 6 deer we killed. I cut up 2 deer by myself and parts of the other 4 deer, helped butcher them.
You made a trip of it.
I made a trip of it, yeah, and I just used one of our knives and this belt to keep our knives sharp, and it worked like a charm.
Right on.
So this belt is available on goHUNT this fall. There's 3. It's we designed it to be sort of like the ultimate field belt that just happened to be made out of materials that can shape, sharpen, or hone any knife, broadhead, or fishing hook. So it has a really flat profile. We want to do that because anybody who's if you ever put a pack on, a heavy pack on, you cinch it down, you get that kind of bulge, which is really annoying and digs into your stomach. So this profile sort of mirrors the contour of your belt buckle and your hip belt, so it's really comfortable under your belt. It's a webbing capture system that goes through. It's not what most people are used to, but it works really well. It's a friction capture system that goes through the front of the belt and goes behind. So once you put it in there, it won't move. Yep, locks in really well. There are 3 different ways you can use this belt to sharpen your knife. On the top of the knife here, you have a tungsten carbide bar, and that works really well. It works like a sharpening stone or sharpening steel or a ceramic rod. You'll use that probably most of the time when you're in the field. You also have a vegetable tan leather strop on the side here, so if you're, I don't know if you strop your knives.
Yeah, I try.
It's a really effective way to sharpen your knife, and also to do some honing in the field as well. And sort of the coup de grace is on the back of the buckle. We have an embedded 800 grit diamond grit along the back of the buckle. And it's if you're cutting up a lot of animals or using a knife to baton wood or just do something else, and you're just you smash your edge and you need to reshape it, you can make a little handle from your webbing belt, and then you can use the webbing on the other side as an angle guide. And you just take your blade across there, alternate strokes until you get your shape back, and then you go back to the leather strop, and then you would run your blade across the leather to kind of hone it in. So if you have our belt on you, you never have to worry about carrying a knife sharpener with you again. It's a Kodiak belt.
One less piece of gear you have to carry, right?
One less piece of gear. And if you're gonna wear a belt, why not have it be
multifunctional, right?
Yeah,
and you got a fish hook sharpener, it looks like.
Yep, we do.
For sharpening a fish hook.
I know, I do a little bit of fishing, but my brother's really serious fisherman.
Sure.
So
he had to have that.
He had to have that. Yeah, that's why.
That was his input.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
Nice. What is your knife situation? I mean, I know that you guys make great knives.
Yeah.
Talk to me about what's your preference? What's been your go-to? You've had probably
we have 3 knives. Yeah. So we have 3 knives. We have our Cole, our Serac, and our carbon knife. I have kids, so it's picking your favorite kid. I use them in different knives for different situations. So I always of course have a favorite. But my favorite is based on my personal preference, not necessarily what other people like. So the carbon, which is our first knife, is still my go-to for most hunts. A lot of people though at Argali they like the Serac better, and I think it comes down to just their personal preference. Our Serac has a little bit more of a skinning style blade to it, a little bit deeper choil, where it's kind of the part where your finger fits underneath the handle, and so it has a really nice hand feel to it. And I think for some people they just like that style of knife better. The carbon is, I designed that to be a jack of all trades, master of none type blade, so it's kind of good at everything, but not built for any one specific purpose.
Do you take one knife on a
Yeah,
hunt?
I do.
That's just one knife.
That's it.
Okay, one fixed blade.
It's an authenticity thing for me too. So I'm a weight weenie. So if I built our knives to be a truly a one knife, I only want to carry one knife. And if I'm telling our customers hey, you only need to take this knife with you, I feel like it would be disingenuous for me to take multiple knives. So I only take one knife. Our Cole, which is our lightest weight knife. I went on a last season, a late season deer hunt, and so we were backpacked in for 10 days. That's all I took and it worked really well with our belt. And that one knife was able to cut up, 1.5 mule deer with it. It was fine.
And that's what's great about your belt, right? It works in conjunction. I mean, you feel better about only taking one fixed blade knife if you also have the tools to make sure that you can hone that thing and it's a functional tool. I mean, there's nothing more frustrating than having a fixed blade that's dulled out.
Right.
And you can't use it.
Yep. And I think if you have a good knife, I mean, you really, I mean, it's kind of like a security blanket to take an extra as a backup. But I don't know, if you have confidence in your gear, I think you can just rely on it. I think that what's the saying, like, we pack our insecurities when we go out. And I will take, there are some things that I want some like redundancy in. Sometimes I'll take 2 long-handled spoons because that's like
2 releases.
Yep. But when it comes to like my kill kit and my knives, I always pack just one.
I think you make a good point. I think I talk to a lot of people, and I think a lot think that a knife is maybe an area that they can scrimp. Like, I can get by with a $30 or $40 knife. I would say it's just like any other piece of equipment. Buy right, do it one time, buy a piece of equipment that's going to last, it's going to hold an edge, and it's going to pay dividends in the long run. So, I mean,
nothing more frustrating than trying to cut up an animal with like a dull knife.
The worst.
And it's like you buy a high quality piece of gear and it'll last you for a long time.
I agree. Well, cool, man. We're excited.
Yeah.
Like I said, we'll have all these available. We currently have the Argali game bags. We have the knives, all 3 knives that we talked about, and then we'll have the Kodiak Belt this fall, so you can get it at the goHUNT gear shop. Thanks, Brad.
Yeah. Thanks, Brad.